And action. I encourage you to dream. I never want that part of you to die, but when it comes to your living situation, you have to be very realistic. Can you see my bun? What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. If this is your first time seeing my face, hello, welcome. Thanks for finding us, we have fun here. As you can see from the title of today's video, I'm going to be telling you 5 crucial tips for moving out on your own for the first time. 7 months ago, I moved into my first apartment, and that's where I'm at. It took months and months of preparation, so hopefully my advice can cut down the length of your research or just be able to help you plan better on your journey. Grab a seat because class is in session. I think it's important to let you guys know I didn't grow up with 2 parents. I barely grew up with 1. So I am here, a walking testimony to let you know that if I can do it, you can too. Anyways, this is a time for excitement because we gotta help you get your apartment. Let's start with number 1. Make sure you have the right job. Now, when I say right job, I'm not talking about your dream job. I'm just saying, if you're trying to make this move, do you have a consistent job with consistent hours, aka consistent income? Because I gotta tell you guys something, rent, there will never be any expense that hits so hard when it leaves your bank account than rent. You don't want to be 1 to 2 months deep in your new apartment and then all of a sudden you're sick of your job or you get fired. Like, make sure that it's consistent and it's something that you plan on staying to for a long amount of time, because your length of time there will also help validate what's to be expected of you when it's time to pay your rent. Like, are you gonna be late? Because that's gonna be an easy, like, it's a risk now, not only for them but for you. Like, do you want to live that tight in your wallet? All things to think about. You're gonna need to show your pay stubs from at least the last 2 months. I've seen as little as like 1 month, but yeah, I think it just depends on your situation. Like, if you're a recent grad and you're starting a new job but you're also trying to move at the same time to relocate, it'll probably be different for you. Before I started my marketing job, I was in retail for a very long time and I loved it while I was in it. And then, you know, towards the end, I was like, okay, I'm not getting paid enough money and I have student loans, and if I'm trying to move out, I can't do it with this money. Rent is expensive. Adulting is expensive. You want to make sure you can afford it, but more on that later. It took me 1.5 years before I was able to find a consistent job and one that I felt comfortable with, one that I had more financial liberty with as opposed to my retail job. I wanted to make sure I was steady at my job, but I wasn't gonna be leaving this job in another month or so because I hated it. I wanted to know that I could depend on my job, which could then lead me to income and an apartment. Number 2. Figure out your apartment budget. What can you realistically afford? I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, the nicest appliances are not always worth it. And I say that from personal experience. There was a whole 22-minute long YouTube video about this topic. In the beginning of my search, and really all throughout, I was a bougie. And we all have a right to be. I think it's very important to have a vision. I made a vision board and it really helped me stay on track. So I encourage you to dream. I never want that part of you to die, but when it comes to your living situation, you have to be very realistic about what you can afford, the amount of money that you have coming in. Are you gonna be able to go out, or are you gonna have to cut back? Like, if you go with the higher end of your budget, are you gonna be able to go to the girls' brunch, dinners, drinks? Drinks are expensive. These are all important things to think about. I know there's gonna be people out there like me who are gonna be stubborn, like, no, I still want it. Like, you can want it, but just be realistic. If it's something that's gonna make you live from paycheck to paycheck, it's not worth it, because expenses are gonna come up. Life is gonna happen. Car things are going to happen. It is so easy to get caught up in the granite countertops, the marble countertops, the hardwood floors. But if paying for all of that isn't in the cards for you right now, know that that doesn't mean you'll never have them again. It just means for right now. Plus, your lease is most likely gonna be a year. It could be 6 months, but either way, it's not indefinitely. So just make the most out of what you have now and continue working towards your future. I know that probably sounds like peace, love, and blessings. Like, no, it's really important to not be discouraged. I got my dream apartment. I went through the application process. I moved. My boyfriend helped me. It was such an amazing accomplishment. And then I had to move out, and it was really hard saying goodbye to that chapter that I thought I would be spending a whole year at. And yeah. 4 U-Hauls later, I am here in this apartment now, and I've been able to do different DIY projects around my apartment. Like, you might be able to tell, but that brick is peel and stick. No, but seriously, it's given me a vibe that I'm so happy I was able to create, and yeah, I love it. But get this video to 100 likes if you want to see what I've done to modernize my apartment. Just know, I am saving $400 plus at this new apartment. Number 3, figure out when you want or need to move. I'm pretty sure there's a statistic on like when the best time is to move, and I'll put that here. I'm pretty sure it's like May through September. I wanted to give myself a generous amount of time to save, but also a firm deadline so I wasn't just like wasting time. Like I was moving on a mission. Okay. It was my goal to move at the least busiest time of the year. Less busy means easier planning and more options, because I moved in the fall. Well, actually by that point it was winter. The goal range that I set for myself was October through December 2020. That's the range I wanted to move. If I was on top of my savings, then I was going to go for the October, but in case I needed more time, I was aiming for December, and December ended up being the one. But I honestly loved it, and I would repeat the same process again, because my goal was to save at least $10,000 by the October to December range whenever I'd be moving out. And honestly, it was just, I am so proud I did that. Not only was I able to save for as long as possible, not only was I able to move in a less busy time, but also I was able to get like half of my furniture during Black Friday. By the time it came in, it was already like just a few more weeks before I was moving into my apartment. But honestly, this is all gonna differ from one person to another, because I feel like depending on what your obligations are and what your scenario is like now, you might think that the summer is the best time and the only time to move. But just make sure you're doing your research. Having a date in mind allows you to have a SMART goal. Have y'all heard the SMART goal? It's like specific, measurable, attainable? RT. I can't remember the rest, but I'm gonna put it up here. Basically, the T is like times something, just being able to have a deadline for yourself so you can actually work towards it. It really helps, and it'll help you get super excited about the time when it gets there. I think there's a quote that says, "A goal without a deadline is just a wish." You're gonna be able to take a step back and think, okay, what are the next steps for me to accomplish this? Is it saving? Is it cutting back on Grubhub and Uber Eats? Cause whew, that's me. It's gonna help you work smarter towards achieving your goals. List out your current or expected finances. You gotta do this with detail. I say expected because sometimes if you're like getting ready to get a car, but you're not quite there yet, but there's a car payment and you've already done the math of how much that's gonna be, write that down. I'm talking how much you spend on groceries or how much you expect to spend on groceries. How much do you spend on gas? Especially with these rising prices, it's hard. It just keeps going up. Even if you aren't currently paying for any bills, still write down what you're expecting to pay. Like, do your research. I did a lot of Googling to find out like,
how much are electric bills?
Like, I listed all of my expenses out in an Excel spreadsheet, and I even included therapy. It's nice to have that log so you have that visual representation of where your money's going. What's coming out weekly? What's coming out bi-weekly? What's coming out monthly? And where you might even be able to cut back on that phone bill, that Netflix, that Hulu. Fashion Nova. Like, am I talking to myself? That could be a whole nother video. Let me know if you guys want to see a savings video. I am not your financial expert, but I've had to learn myself and I taught myself and I'm doing the damn thing, so let me know. And number 5, you guessed it, it's time for saving. You heard Fetty Wap, save that money. Saving's gonna have its own video because it is hard, but it's so important, especially after you've already determined when you want to move. You need to be saving. And obviously this is going to be very different from one person to another because maybe you are only working a few hours, maybe you're working full time, but like you probably got other expenses, so money is just, it is hard to hold on to, but you gotta try. So you can set your own deadline. I think a lot of people go by saving up to 2 to 3 months worth of living expenses, and my goal was that after moving out, I would not be returning back. Like, nah, if I was gonna do it, I was gonna be prepared. I wanted to make sure this was a successful run. So not only did I want to have at least 4 to 5 months worth of living expenses covered, I also wanted to keep in mind furniture. I knew that by the time I got my apartment, I was not going to want to wait to get furniture. So I accounted for that in my savings and I was able to get over $10,000. It was like a little over $11,000, and I saved that in about 10 months. It's so important to have a solid financial cushion. I don't know what any of your stories are. I don't know if you're coming from a huge family or like similar to my situation, but I do know that you can make it happen. So as you start to build your savings plan for yourself, keep in mind, A, if this doesn't work out, can I return back home? Do I want to return back home? If not, how much do I need to make sure that I am good? Am I getting hand-me-down pieces of furniture? Am I buying brand new things? Like, these are all things to think about. And like I said, if you plan to move in the fall time, start making your shopping list for Black Friday, because I'm still so proud of that decision. I just totally remembered I have a whole nother point. So there's 6 tips. Number 6, scout the location. Does it have a parking lot? Is it all the way across the street, or is it connected to the building, or is it street parking? You gotta consider what type of environment or lifestyle you want to be in. Where's the nearest grocery store and what is it? Because I need me an array. I need a Target, I need a Walmart. Get you a girl that can do both. What's the average age of the people who are going to be your neighbors? If you moving into a quiet environment and you trying to work on your Meg Thee Stallion knees with loud music, I don't think that's gonna work. But this is why you gotta scout the location. And thankfully with technology, they make it very easy for you. I don't even know what accent that was. But yes, check the Google reviews. Google won't lie to you. It's nice to pull a drive-by because what looks great in pictures will not look great in person. Go in the daytime, and if you can, also go in the nighttime. But daytime is nice because you get to see more, I feel, visually. But nighttime is also nice because it's like,
What's the vibe at the nighttime?
but also be safe. Trulia has a really great feature on their app where you're able to see what the locals say. So for example, is it dog friendly? Is parking easy? Would people walk alone at night? Like, it's so cool. And then they also have the section for the crime where you're able to see what crimes were reported in the area. From the lowest crime to the highest type of crime. What is poppin' in this area? And it better just be fireworks. I'm so corny. But yes, other important things when you're scouting the location is how close are you going to be to your loved ones? You trying to be around your friends? Are you in a relationship? Is it important for you to be super close to your family? Are you near your job, whether you're commuting or you're working from home, but you might be in the office sometimes? These are all things to think about. With that being said, those are my 5+1 tips on getting your first apartment. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If there was one tip that stood out to you, comment that down below. And also, get this video to 100 likes if you're trying to see this DIY how I modernized my apartment video. But also, if you want me to do a video on how I saved. If you have not already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are this close to 500 subscribers, people. This close. I welcome you into the family. You got this. You can do this. You gon' do this. And I'm rooting for you. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.
I just got one question, bitch. Can you make it dip, 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 make it dip.
I'm the pasta 10. All these ends, why you motherfuckers got to be rocks or something. I used to touch your little watch with some rocks or something.
I just remembered that my best friends got me this and I'm so excited to use it.